Hi, welcome to KoKo's World, where we dive deep into knocking life the F out. I'm your host, Carlisha Stokes. Welcome to another episode of KoKo's World. It's your girl, Carly, and I have the infamous Shelby, Dr. Shelby. As you can see, she's in her scrubs today.
Rubbing up today for you guys.
Yes, but we love you in your scrubs. You should love yourself in your scrubs.
Thank you.
Dr. Shelby, so we're here to talk about all things Pride. It is Pride Month. Happy Pride.
Yes, happy Pride, everybody.
I'm not going to say, I know that you've been kind of getting famous on TikTok from, roasting the people that say that they're not gay or whatever it is. But we are the Rainbow Gays. We love Pride. We love all things Pride. And Today's episode is Pride. So,
And Pride has been a journey. It doesn't, I don't know, it takes a little bit to kind of get to that place where you really accept Pride, love Pride. And hopefully we can kind of clear some things up today that will maybe help somebody else out on their Pride journey. Maybe people trying to understand what Pride does for people in our community and just everything really. So
I should say, so I guess since you've already kicked that off, let's talk about it. So what does Pride mean to you?
Pride means a lot to me, actually. It has definitely been a journey. I actually posted, I think a couple of years ago on my TikTok asking other people in the community how they deal with kind of the weight of Pride. So it's interesting because I don't feel the same way that I felt in that video years ago about Pride. And it's because of the journey of learning more about Pride, growing as an individual, and then growing as a queer person and allowing yourself to open up and basically take off those chains that society puts on you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely it means a lot more to me now than it did then. Then I think I was scared.
Okay.
Genuinely, I think I was scared of Pride because I was taught to be afraid of Pride.
Okay. When you say you were scared or that you were taught to be afraid, can you just elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, so my understanding of Pride growing up was, it's just a bunch of butt naked men in the streets just dancing, and they made it out to be very sexual and just all these different things that almost gay people were gonna get you or something. It's just this weird homophobia. It's true homophobia. It's a literal fear of that a lot of people have towards Pride because the media puts out these ideas that it's just this hypersexual thing. And I'm not saying that it's not in some places, but the Pride things that I have been a part of and experienced has not been like that.
Okay.
So, if that is going on, we probably should reel it in a little bit and not be so sexual in the streets. That's just my personal preference. But I haven't really seen that personally.
So, I've only been to one Pride event, which was the annual Greenville Pride, which Greenville, our little town, is growing and it's evolving slowly.
Yeah.
2023 was their first annual Pride.
Yeah.
And
that was so exciting.
It was very exciting.
So
and
exciting.
I honestly thought it was more family oriented.
100%.
And everything was so beautiful and family oriented and friendly. I did not see anything sexual at all.
Yeah.
So
and
I'm confused when people say that.
I think a lot of that comes from people also thinking that being open about your body immediately means sexualization. And also our community gets this whole people want it to be sexualized whenever that's literally nothing of it. But they're oh, it's about sexuality. Same thing with the flag. It's not about that in the least bit. But we get taught these things growing up that this is what the community is about, and that it's, especially coming from a Christian background, it's oh, it's bad, it's sinful, it's lustful, it's all these things. And so you just get these negative stereotypes in your head. And then as a queer person trying to work through that, you're ooh, I don't want to be viewed like that.
Right.
So you still kind of have that, I want to fit in, and
I want to always be viewed as a unicorn, okay? Anything rainbows and colorful, I'm down for it.
You've been so bold forever, and I just love that for you.
I mean, nobody wants to be boring. Yeah. I'm sorry, but
you also weren't taught to be that type of person.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that your world wasn't surrounded by that.
Well, I love to hear your impression of what pride means to you, because to me, honestly, I didn't really understand the level of pride until probably a couple years ago, when I actually experienced like Greenville's pride. And I know that I need to go to other prides, because Greenville's was not nearly as big as like Chicago or even like Charlotte. I'm excited to experience their pride, but or even Atlanta. But I mean, just how huge they can be and how different with the parades and you know, really feeling celebrated. I love the beauty of like seeing families be represented, because your kids go to school and they have different families in their classes. You know, I grew up with divorced parents. That's a different type of family. We have two mom household. That's a different type of family. Some people have one parent household. That's a different type of family. So to see that be represented in such a beautiful way, I don't know. I don't think people should have issues with something that they, just because they're afraid of trying something new. When you don't understand something, instead of figuring it out, putting yourself out there to figure it out, they bash it because they're afraid.
Yeah. And I mean, personally, like, I think why I love pride the most, and I think a lot of people feel this way too, is, you know, a lot of people get ostracized from their families in one shape or form or another. It could be from your immediate family, like your parents and your siblings. It can be distant family. It can be all the above, right? And I've experienced all the above. Yeah. And when you have that disconnection from family structure, like, as an individual, we want family. Right. And whenever we get together for pride with other people, allies or queer people, you get that sense of family, and it feels really freaking good. It does. And it also, to me, feels way better than, like, I guess you would say, like, normal family, like general family. Yeah. Because, like, the love and support that is there is so unconditional. Yeah. They don't care how you show up. They don't care how you look. I mean, there's literally people sometimes at Pride that people don't talk about. It's like that they're emotional, like they're crying, they're going through these things, because you have freaking mom hugs, dad hugs, you have all these things out there where people are just like loving on one another and like really uplifting, and that just feels really good. It does. Like, it feels really freaking good.
So speaking of that, can you share a moment when you truly felt seen and celebrated for the first time being a part of the LGBT community?
I don't know if I can truly remember like my first time, but I think some moments that stick out for me for sure are like the Greenville Pride. Oh my God, it was so good, because I had seen on social media that they were doing like the mom hugs, the dad hugs and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that is so cute. But girl, getting the mom hug at the Greenville Pride literally like changed my world. Yeah. Because it's just like, you're just getting love from somebody for just being there, being like existing as you are. Like, there's no judgment, there's no pressure, there's no I gotta show up this way, like there's nothing. Like, it's just pure like, bring it in, let me give you some love. And I think that made a really profound impact on me. I think the other one was the Queer Wellness Center in Greenville. Yeah, I can't remember if it was during Pride or what, but I know they were hosting some events that I got to be a part of as like a doc and things like that. And it really, it made me feel really good, because I never really thought about like having like zero queer representation, like in healthcare, giving it, you know, to other people, like their care, as well as being a doctor in the field that is also queer, and all the things you go through with that. Like, it's so multifaceted. So like the Queer Wellness Center, like bringing people in to not only provide care to our people, all right, but then to also be loved on as a physician, and like, hey, they're so thankful, you know, that to have a safe space and like you get to be that. I think that probably was one of the biggest impacts on me, because I didn't even realize that existed in my mind until we went.
Yeah. I honestly am very proud once again of our community, our old community. We're not there anymore, but it is my hometown for how much they've evolved in that area. Greenville is still very conservative, but I genuinely believe that with time, things are going to transition because of the lobbyists and the allies that are there that can make positive change, and they are doing it in the right ways. Because I genuinely believe all people should have proper health care and also proper education towards their health, and not be seen as if they're an insect or something's wrong with them because they identify as not what our social norms would be. So, I never knew that was something that was very impactful for you. I grew up with a lot of gay people in my family, as Shelby knows. It is not the new, like, people say orange is the new black. Gay is not new to me. It's not. Very far from it. So, education on HIV, preventatives, and protection, and the importance of being sex positive. I grew up in a very sex positive household. Things that may seem, I'm asking her this because I want to know more about, one, my wife, but two, we grew up so different that, like, things that don't really are not like, oh, this is so cool and new, is not that for me. And she always has like an awe factor, even though I grew up very conservative as well. Well, I didn't grow up conservative. I grew up in a conservative town, I would say.
And I think the rural communities need parades and pride and everything way more than the cities. Like, I'm glad that the cities have that, like, safe haven for everybody to travel from, because it's definitely, I wouldn't consider safe, like, to do like prides in a lot of these like small towns and stuff, because I feel like it would be it's very scary. But those places need it more than anybody, because, like, growing up out in the middle of nowhere in all these places, like, queer people exist. I didn't grow up around queer people, and that's another stereotype that they're like, oh, well, they need representation too, 100%, so they can understand. I seen some comments on a TikTok post that was like, gay is so normal now. Like, why are you still out here preaching? I'm like, because there's a lot of people that don't feel like gay is normal. And
they still feel like they have to hide. That's the whole point.
100%.
Hey guys, it's your girl Carly with KoKo's World, and I am calling all pet parents. Are you looking for the best high quality food for your fur baby? Look no further, because Stella and Chewy has your back. From raw coated kibble to freeze dried raw meals, Stella and Chewy is packed with real wholesome ingredients to keep your pup happy, healthy, and full of energy. And because I want your fur babies to enjoy the same top tier nutrition as mine, KoKo's World has partnered with Stella and Chewy for new customers and returning customers. For new customers, get 10% off your first order using Carly10, and returning clients get 5% off for your next purchase using Carly5. Give your pet the nutrition they deserve and save while you do so. Head over to Stella and Chewy and make sure you use my code personalized for you through KoKo's World. Thank you all, Stella and Chewy, and thanks for always looking out for Sargent and Ava.
So do you feel that Pride should be celebrated outside of June? And I know there's a lot of controversy right now with Pride, it being, why do we get like a whole month, which we don't have to go into detail on that, because the whole premise here is with our current administration and all the things going on with DEI and same-sex laws for marriage. Do you feel that it's important for us to have the month of June? Number one. And then I'm going to also say, with that, with all of the changes we've currently have, how do you feel with like Target not having their Pride section for the month of June, and all of these other companies that kind of have withdrawn?
Ooh, so that's loaded. There's a lot to that. I guess let's start with the month thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely deserve a month. You know what? We wouldn't have to have a month if we had the whole freaking year where, people were just like kind.
Yeah.
And
not just don't give a fuck. Like, why do you care about who I'm hooking up with or sleeping with? Like cheaters.
I think what Pride shows the most is not that people are worried about what you're doing in your bedroom. It really shows how many people are unkind. because pride is literally just about
Everybody.
like unity,
Yeah.
togetherness,
Equality for all.
you know, being different. Like, do you think I am like the same person as every person in the queer community? Absolutely not. Like,
Right.
I do not dress, act, walk, talk like all these people, but I love them and I still care about them and I'm kind and respectful and generous towards them. And that's the purpose.
Mhm.
Like, and I think this current administration also shows that because it's like you literally have shown us just how unkind
It can be if
from
they're
a pride perspective,
Right.
from a racism perspective. Like, it's just very out and obvious. Like, DEI is literally diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like, back to the general definitions of those words.
It has nothing to do with race or sexuality or
It's literally being a good person.
right. It's about our heart.
And minding your business. So, yeah, I think we definitely deserve the full month, 100%. Like, there's a lot of other things that are celebrated throughout the year, every single month, like for multiple different reasons. I do kind of feel like I love that we do it in June, but I really do kind of hate the fact that Juneteenth is in June too, because I do feel like they both need their own month. Like
I agree.
I mean, I know like Black Pride Month or Black History Month.
Not right.
That would be cool too, though. That would be cool. But I know Black History Month, you know, has its own month and everything like that, and then we have our own like Pride Month and things like that. But I'm really, you know how I am. I love being able to celebrate Juneteenth and really try to push that out there the best that I can for people. But I almost feel like it needs its own.
So you feel like June should be the month of Juneteenth, and then
I mean, naturally, yes. I mean, June. I don't know. I don't know how.
No, I mean, I really,
I feel like they both need like serious representation.
no, I definitely agree with you. And I want to say I love the fact that you, of all people, I mean, you celebrate Black so beautifully that, like, low key, you know, the new saying on TikTok is like the redheads are truly like Black people. I genuinely feel like you have like some roots in you, like for real, because I love culture, and I just love that because most of white people, Caucasians, the unseasoned, yes, the YTs, they're one or two things. They celebrate Black people and they love the culture of it, but it's celebrated hidden because they don't want to be ostracized by their own kind or their people.
Yeah.
Or
which I think that's actually a perfect way to kind of like segue into like allyship. I know that's something that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm really very opinionated when it comes to allyship.
Oh girl, we know. And if you know Dr. Shelby, you know she is very opinionated and she stands 10 toes down.
Yeah, because
with her fans.
There's a lot of like just say it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But white people don't want the repercussions of what it means to like stand on it.
Yeah.
And that's just honest. Like, you have to be willing to lose people.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to like truly stand on what you believe in. And it shows you if you really believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. It's like, you know, across the board, like you're not just gonna protect a kid getting bullied in a crowd.
No.
Because there's a bunch of people around and they're watching, and you know that that's how they're going to view you because you want a hero status or whatever the heck you want. Versus like if it was just you, another person, and some kid getting bullied by that person, and there's nobody around, there's no cameras.
Are you still going to do the same?
Right. Yeah. You still stand on that. Like, and I believe that even like white people, especially like in their houses, like you get together for holidays and gatherings and all this stuff, and you just stand by while your parents, your uncles, aunts, talk shit. I mean, I'm not even sure, just like literally talk shit. Anything you can think of that might be different than what they think of, like racism, pride, gay people, politics, just like all the things, how society is, you know, that's where the core of it starts. And try to make a difference there to the best of your ability. Yeah. And then the shit's hard.
Yeah. No, I resonate fully, you know, because there's been times where I've had predominantly white friends growing up just
Yeah.
because of the school I went to and, dancing and stuff. And there would be times where I would be in their homes and hear inappropriate comments be made about people. And I knew, like, if I was with my parents would, or if I was with my parents and they seen me like kind of go along with them, these white people, they would have checked me. But obviously I'm by myself and I'm in someone's home. So like I'm just gonna try to blend in to fit in,
Right, yeah.
And looking back, it's like so
Yeah, it's
wrong.
not a safe space.
It's not a safe space.
Yeah.
It's so wrong. And quickly, I look back and I'm like, Carly, what the hell was I doing hanging out with? Because now I'm like, if Khalees dared to like ever do something like what we do, no, you're getting you may get a backhand. So I can't imagine like being you playing on predominantly black, I would say biracial teams, but predominantly brown skinned people.
Yeah.
And then being from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Your school's like mascot was Rebel, like Rebel flag or whatever. So like growing up with the people that you grew up with, being around the people you were around, and being completely different.
Yeah.
Because you are very, very different.
But I do have to say, like, I have to hold myself accountable for the fact that, like, it has been a journey to get to where I am now.
Okay.
And it will forever be a journey as a white person, based on the things that society we're taught to, and we're just ingrained into in this country, that it hasn't always been like that.
Right.
I grew up in a community and had these experiences playing on teams where it was primarily black people, and like actually experiencing racism within like sports.
Wow.
Not towards me, obviously,
right,
but
right.
like witnessing it, seeing it, and how people acted and were treated, and
Shelby gonna ride for her teammates. Let me just say that.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, where I am now versus where I was then, I was not as strong. Like, because I didn't understand.
Right.
Like, I didn't know, and it was a world of confusion, which I think, the same thing with like pride and like being queer. They're definitely two very separate things, but there's a lot of likeness as far as oppression goes in them.
Yeah.
But it's, from a white person, like, you have to do the work.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not a queer individual, as a white person, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
Like, because inherently we are taught hate.
Yeah.
Like, all the way around. Like, you see this saying online all the time now. It's like, there's no hate like Christian love.
Yeah.
That shit is so true. It is unbelievable. Like,
there's no hate like Christian love.
Yes, I see it in the, me, I'm in the comment sections. We may not post, but I'm in the comment section. But they say that a lot, and I like.
What does that mean? I'm confused.
It's because like so many Christians out here literally are just like spreading so much filth and hate.
Okay, now I'm following.
And they pose it as love.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the saying, like, we don't
the sinner, or hate the sin, love the sinner.
Yeah, that's so funny.
One person.
To be honest, I've never heard that saying until your parents, and every time I would roll my eyes because I'm like, you don't fucking love anything. Like, I don't mean
like there's no separation. No. If you have to do that,
then obviously you need to check yourself.
This is one body.
Correct. Yeah. I would never say that I love somebody. Love is such a strong word, first of all. You should never love somebody and be like, but I hate what you're doing. It's none of your fucking business what I'm doing. You either love me for me or get the fuck off. Like, and that's,
like, if you don't like it,
no, get the fuck off. Not walk away. Get the fuck off. Because I am a person where, my family is all about like love. My grandmother raised all of us with love. You can conquer anything. Mm-hmm. And she did not give a shit if you walked out of her house, I hate to say this, but murdered someone, beat somebody up or whatever. She's going to check you. She's going to say like, you're wrong. But she's not going to be like, I love you, but I hate what you just did. Yeah. Because you've already done a messed up thing. Yeah. We don't need to, I don't know. I just hate that saying. That's weird.
But see, that sort of thing is what like it pulls on a queer person.
Yeah. Pulls on your identity as a person.
It's hard because it pulls on you because you grow up in a family structure that this is the way they live life.
Yeah. It's weird.
they're taught that. They never said, oh, this is not good, like let's fix this.
Yeah.
And so you so badly want to be a part of your family.
Yeah.
But yet you are this person who is like wants love and kindness and togetherness, and you want all this like family connection, all this stuff. But then you have this family that's like
pretend
not about that.
Right.
But they're still your blood, and like you want to be a part of that. So that's where this video of these, those women that we're talking about, like, I'm not gay, like they want, it's sad. Like, I don't like it, of course, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Because they want so badly in their world, which is predominantly like that family. Don't freaking talk about it. Like, it's like you don't want to be viewed as an outsider.
Yeah.
So even as a queer person, you just kind of like start doing your own internalized homophobic stuff like all the time, just so you can fit in with your family. I have seen that like with a couple that we previously knew that like, which this is horrible to me, but they literally go to functions separately.
Yeah.
Like that freaking breaks my heart. Like you're married, you've been together 15 years, like, and you still go to family functions separately because like you're not accepted. No, fuck that. Honestly. Like, and I didn't used to have that mindset. I used to be like, oh, let me go over here and over here. Like, no. Honestly, looking back from doing it both ways, just get the fuck out. If I could tell any queer person, just like let them deal with that on their own, and then you figure out your life and your stuff your way.
Yeah.
With your community, with your people, your chosen family, because it is way, way less painful. Not saying it's not painful. Shit is painful, but way less painful than just like playing like inside both, like walking the fence. It's just not it.
Are you looking to level up your health game? Well, look no further. Supreme Nutrition has your back with clean, high-quality supplements made to fuel your body and mind. From protein to recovery, every product is crafted to help you feel strong, energized, and unstoppable. Taste the difference and feel the results. Fuel your greatness with Supreme Nutrition. Reach out if you would like my special code just for you.
So you're speaking from a queer person that has experienced some level of trauma and a different thing. Whereas on my standpoint, I have a different opinion on just get out. Because at the end of the day, I grew up where my parents just had like two asks whenever I told them I was dating a female. She can't wear a chain wallet. And my dad was like, thank God I don't have to deal with another choice word he said, but he doesn't have to deal with men anymore. And I actually was like, okay, is that it? Like, are y'all gonna pull the rug out from under me? Like, what's gonna change? And nothing changed. And my dad, I thank God for him because we have a very strong-willed family. And I was really nervous about how all of my aunts and uncles and stuff were gonna accept me and accept Shelby. And my grandmother, my dad just told me I had to have that conversation with my grandmother. So of course I did. And she was like, oh, sweetie, you've never brought a boy home. Like, I kind of was assuming it before anybody ever brought it up. And we love whoever you love. Whoever loves you, we're going to love. And then my family just naturally, it was like, okay, where's Shelby? You're by yourself today. Like, it was no conversation that was needed. Yeah. We go to church. The same thing. Everybody's accepting. Everybody is warm and welcoming. Nobody is talking about, we love the sin. We love the sinner, not the sin, whatever, that weird saying is. So I had a completely different experience. I had a more inviting, a positive experience. And for the most part, for the people that did not understand, they may have not said anything to my face, but if it was brought up behind my back, the people that loved me the most, which is my grandmother and my dad, they nipped the shit in the bud there. Like, it was just that, And I know for a fact my grandmother doesn't even speak to one of her sisters to this day because she made an ill comment about me. Yeah. And my grandmother's 85 years old. And I think of all people who may not understand, that generation shouldn't, But she had a gay son. I have a gay cousin. Like, gay is not new in my family. So she's like, if that's the worst thing a person can do is choose somebody that their spirit is naturally drawn to,
Yeah.
I would rather see my granddaughter or my kid or whoever happy than to be beaten or abused or mistreated and undervalued just to be married to the opposite sex, you know? So I appreciate that viewpoint because
me too.
I didn't have bondage, you know, like I would call that bondage of what you grew up in. I didn't have that, you know, just like I grew up very sexual positive like lifestyle. So, you know, the purity culture I know nothing about. I mean, I hate to say that
Yeah.
worldwide, but like
That's
that's a whole different topic for a whole nother day.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, when you have those levels of bondage, it's just it enables you to genuinely be able to grow freely and to know who you are, to work on who you want to be versus having to work on identity crisis.
Yeah.
You know, because I just genuinely feel for so long, I'm proud and I celebrate pride
Yeah.
because we can boldly be who we want to be, you know?
I think like it's interesting.
Versus fitting.
What was coming up for me when you were like talking about was coming out.
Yeah.
Like you do realize like coming out is rooted in the fact that like our entire community has been held back and oppressed and treated like shit for so long. Because you shouldn't even have to come out.
Yeah.
Like look at the difference. And like I had to sit down for months, years, really prepare for like what I was gonna say, how I was gonna say it, all these what ifs, how's it gonna go?
Yeah.
How am I gonna get treated? What's gonna happen? Like I had to go through all of this stuff and like you were just like, oh, so this is my girlfriend. And like to me, like at that time, like that makes me want to sweat. Like it's so scary because like we were taught like to
just
come
rip
out.
the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. Whereas like as parents, like we didn't even have to like be that way with Khalees. Khalees probably never even thought about like, oh, if I was this or that, I ever had to come out. Right. Because she could, if she felt any of these things, she knows she could just be that way.
Yeah.
With us.
And we're gonna love her regardless.
And the same thing with like other families. Like if you're trying to figure out stuff like for your kids, like there should be a sense of safety there with your children, knowing that there is love and loyalty and connection there to where they don't feel scared to have a day coming out.
Yeah.
If anything, as a parent, make it like a little mini pride for your kid.
Yeah.
Because if they are gay and they do come out or whatever they, you know, label themselves as, like, and they come out to you, like, make it like a day of celebration for them.
Yes.
Not necessarily celebrating that, ooh, they're going to hook up with the same sex or whatever. No, celebrate the fact that they know they're loved.
Yeah.
Like, make it important because the world is going to show you that it doesn't.
Well, with the world showing you that it doesn't, have you ever felt excluded or ostracized for coming out or just being who you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the above. Yeah, 100%. Like, my coming out story was not great.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Your coming out story
It was actually like
very traumatic.
It's more of like the rug just getting ripped out from under your feet because it was like silent at first and it was like, okay, I thought. And I'm like, oh, kind of all right. And then it's just like no. It's
Yeah.
It
was actually pure hell for like a year and 6 months.
Yeah. So yeah, I've experienced that. I've experienced hate from other people. I mean, I don't know if you can say this on these platforms or not.
You can say whatever you
like, I've been called a fag. I've been called a dyke. I've been called some other things that I really don't want to say out loud on a video.
We don't have to say that.
But like, you know, I've had the slurs thrown at me. I've had the southern ones are my favorite. Like the southern, like the ones where they're trying to like sugarcoat it and make it sound really nice. Where it's like, oh yeah, we see you, honey, type shit.
Why can't you just be friends?
Yeah, like you guys, like you're just good best friends, right? It's like, no, shut the fuck up, Karen.
I mean, maybe you're a best friend to your husband, but no.
So it's been like soft, and then there's been like true hate, like that just comes through like with confidence. But yeah, so I've been excluded. I've been excluded. Shit in chiropractic school.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even realize that until like talking to other colleagues that recognized things that I didn't even recognize as a person. That there was other people that just like literal like staff and professionals that were like, no, like, we're not even going to speak to you or allow you to be a part of this organization or whatever, just because you're like out and open.
Yeah. So how do you cope with like the heaviness? Because I know Pride comes around every year, and at the end of the day, you have to live with the traumas and the past things. We work on them, you know,
For sure.
we heal from them, but how do you cope with carrying that weight yourself, but also helping the next person?
Ooh. The biggest thing that comes to my mind is you cannot heal in a place that's hurting you.
Yeah.
And that can be a place, it can be a person, it can be both. Yeah. A lot of times it is both. And I've learned this by moving, you know, from where we were at first. You know, some people are like, oh, you can't just like run away from it forever. No, you don't realize like it mentally destroys you when you stay. It's like staying in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
That is just constant. I mean, it is. That's exactly what it is. And so I would say like how I dealt with it and how I deal with it now are two very different things, because I've stayed in spaces that I was not welcome in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come off as like, hey, you're not welcome here. It's like they're just gonna make your life hell.
Yeah.
In multi little like small, they like break down like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why suicide rates amongst our community are so high.
Yeah.
Because like it's very invisible sometimes. Like people really just kind of like break you down little by little in your job space, and they make you so boxed in to where it's like you can't even be yourself at work. Okay, like now I can't even be myself on this basketball team, or well, that's very unlikely, but you know, this hobby that I do with friends, like I can't do this, or like, so it just like boxes you in, and it literally starts to lead to like anxiety, depression, and like all of these mental health things that you don't realize that until you're like really deep in that shit.
Yeah.
And you need help. And I've faced some serious like anxiety, depression, mental health issues in my time just from being queer, like from people and spaces. So for me, I say to deal with it, or not necessarily deal with it, to like live your life as your person, as who you are. I say find safe space wherever that is and with whomever that is. Like truly get out of, even if it's that small town and you're trying to get away from, you know, just like your entire world is just like hateful people, leave it. Because it will destroy you sooner or later. One of the two. So like, and I realized that moving myself here. So
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of the work that you've done. I'm very proud of, even though it's been hard, you know, this journey has not been easy. We've been together October 11 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen the journey ups and downs.
Yeah.
I just want to say you've carried it with poise.
Thank
you. And you are a trailblazer for a lot of people. I know that we've had people be trailblazers for us, but I will say now that we're kind of entering our auntie status, you are a trailblazer for a lot of people, and primarily the people that are in our inner circle right now. I mean, from just heterosexual families and how they watch us and they're like, we want to be able to make sure our kids and our future kids understand the importance of inclusion, but then also, you know, our families and the future people we meet and the people from your hometown. You know, you are a trailblazer, and I want you to be very proud of yourself. And even in the hard times, you still stay true to who you are at the core. Because go ahead.
That actually goes right back into Pride. Like that's exactly what Pride established. Like I feel the urge, sorry to tap on the mic, but I feel that urge to like be that safe space and like heal myself for me too. But not only for me, but to be able to pay it forward because that was done for me. And you know, bricks were thrown for people like us. You know, people have died for people like us. So like I will always like respect, love, and try to pay it forward because it was done for me, and that's the least that I could do is try to be a better person for somebody else. And I love being in that safe space. I literally have people reach out to me on Instagram, not so much Facebook, but Instagram, even some on TikTok that I've known from like high school or like elementary school that are still scared to come out.
Yep.
And they're like, oh my gosh, like I just feel a safe space just being in this conversation with you and feeling like encouraged to be their authentic self. And that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Well, before we close up, I just want to ask, what are some like 3 key things that you would like to share with someone to help them live boldly and proudly?
I think these are probably getting kind of repetitious, so I hope people start to like catch on. But first and foremost, I think getting a queer therapist, or an LGBT therapist that aligns with you as the person that you think you are, from somewhere else. Get it from somewhere else.
My therapist is in Chicago.
From somewhere else, yeah, like not so you can see like different viewpoints.
Yes.
I think that's really important because you're creating safe space for yourself directly. So I think that's number 1. You said tips?
Yeah, to live boldly and proudly.
To live boldly and proudly. Number 2, learn what your safeties are.
Yep.
And then press them.
Yep.
What I mean by that is like, don't just go out here like if you feel like being like full masculine presenting, don't just jump out here and just be like, oh my God, I'm gonna cut my hair off, I'm gonna do these things, because realize there's repercussions.
Right.
And depending on the community that you come from. But create a safe space and realize where your safety is and then do that shit.
Yes.
Like just do that shit. And it's gonna feel really weird and really great and all the things and all the emotions, but like find your safe space and then be you in whatever instance. And then third, work on yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Whatever it is that you that builds your confidence, work on that. Like if it's I'm shy and I don't like to talk to people and that's gonna help build your confidence, start getting out here talking to people. Figure out ways to talk to people. If that's like body image and you're, it's a lot for people, as we get judged by our bodies and stuff a lot. But if you want to be whatever you want to be, or however you want to be, like however you want to present, like for me, like I like more like sports and lifting and masculine things, like that builds my confidence. Do that, like, because that improves your overall mental health as well. So just step out there unapologetically but safely and realize that like I'm always here for you. No matter who you are. Like I'm your fam.
Well, we are your fam. And I thank you for just sharing all the great tea and clock it moments. And also I hope y'all, gain something out of this. Please have a safe and great pride. Be proud of who you are, boldly and loudly. And most importantly, remember that you're loved. Thank y'all for joining.
Peace out. Love you guys.